Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm John Barber, and with me is Jeff Dover, and let's talk football.
That's right. We're just a couple of average football fans who watch football on Saturday and Sunday, and this is our review of the South Carolina-Missouri game. What are your initial thoughts?
Ahmad Hardy, is this the best running back in the country?
An absolute beast. Came in as a transfer. People always say, like, when you come from like a smaller school or like a division below or something, they're like, I don't know, they haven't played this, this contest or not, but holy cow, is he a beast? And he's amazing. Like South Carolina couldn't stop the run. So that's why it was Missouri's game basically from the get-go because of that.
287 yards rushing. I'd say they couldn't stop the run. And on the flip side, they ran for a net negative 9 yards.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, this is one of those cases one of your things you like saying is if the box score captured the game or didn't, and this is a case where I believe the box score captured the game because because the South Carolina and if they had Sellers is awesome, okay, he's a great QB, but when you can't run the ball at all, and minus 9 yards is the definition of can't run the ball, you can't put it all, like teams that are good, you can't make one dimensional, and you can't put it all on Lenora Sellers. So
and the crazy thing here is, so in college, sacks go against your running total.
Yes. In
the pros, sacks go against your throwing total.
Yeah.
And what I think is one of the more telling or odd stats, or a stat you wouldn't expect, is Lenora Sellers himself went for minus 28 yards, just in obviously sack yards, but that means he got no positive yards basically at all. Like he just kept going backwards, and they didn't run him at all.
Yeah, he had 10 carries for minus 28 yards. So I think, 5 of them went for positive yards, but 5 of them went for twice as many negative yards, right, with the sacks and stuff. Because there was some of the sacks were pretty bad. Like he's sort of going backwards, continues to go backward, starts to run backwards, and then gets tackled, which is just compounding the error. So.
And that's not indicative of the way you would expect him to play. Like in all previous games, if you watch his film, he normally can find even on those ugly, it looks like he's going to go for a huge loss. He's so crafty and fast and shifty and strong. He seems to always sort of find his way back at least to the line of scrimmage, if not a yard or two positive. Like, it's just shocking that he accounted for negative 28 yards when he's that good of a runner. That makes me think he's not fully healthy from that injury.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think that he was looking more to pass, and the fact that they had zero run game, regardless of him getting minus 28 yards, everyone else, they really abandoned the run game early. Like the one running back had 2 carries for 7 yards, another one 3 carries for 7 yards, another one 6 carries for 5 yards. Like that's not many attempts. Like we've talked before that in some games you have to stick with the run game, even if it's not getting a lot of yards, because you can't be one dimensional, and B, those runs will turn out to be something more later. But they really couldn't do it this game. And when it's all on him just to pass, then it's going to be tough.
Well, and I think that's a credit to Missouri's defensive line. That was a serious havoc game there. They had 8 TFLs and 5 sacks, and okay, so that's probably enough about South Carolina. The last thing we'll say there is Sellers went 18 for 28, 302 yards passing, and 2 TDs. That's actually the best he's looked as a passer, probably in his career so far.
Yes, absolutely. Like he completed a lot of short passes, medium passes, and long passes. Like that, you can see why some of the NFL scouts are excited about him and what he potentially could do at the next level, because physically and the arm talent is there. But if they're ever, like we said, though, if the defense just knows you're passing over time, it's just going to be really hard to overcome that. But.
Right. And the last thing is Vendravius Jacobs, 128 yards and a TD for South Carolina. So you obviously think it's going to be Nick Harbor, but no, this game it was Jacobs. So now all of a sudden, if that's repeatable, now they have 2 legitimate receiving threats. I mean, obviously he spread the ball around too, which is another credit to Sellers. But normally you kind of, at least so far, you'd be like, it's, if you can shut down Harbor, you can shut down this passing offense, but maybe not anymore.
No, and the other thing I'd say too, we keep wanting to get off South Carolina, 14 penalties for 98 yards. There was so many penalties in this game, and those are going to kill you. Like you can't.
And procedural penalties,
so many
pre-snap penalties. You can't. you just can't do that. And we always say you can't do that against a good team. And Missouri, now we'll move on to the Tigers, because they're the good team here. This is the better team in this game, is the Tigers.
Yeah. No, and their game plan seemed pretty obvious from the get-go. It's just sort of ball control, don't turn it over, try not to turn it over. They had one, I think. And, just methodically worked their way down the field, and they dominated the time of possession. They're a really good team. And Pribula didn't have a terrific game, but he was there when they needed him, and you don't need to be that great when Hardy is that good. So,
and on that note, they kind of dominated both offensive and defensive lines. Like this, when you run for 287 yards, first of all, Hardy, I think he leads the country in yards after contact, and it was so obvious in this game. The first or second contact seemed to have no bearing on how far this guy was going to go on each run. It was just, that looks like an NFL player playing in college right now. Like it's like he just came back from being on the Vikings or something, and he's like, I'll just practice against these guys. This looks like Adrian Peterson in his prime, like running right through people.
Yeah, and he's a sophomore, which is pretty crazy, and he's the prototypical sort of running back, 5'10", 206 pounds, like that, with speed and power. Peterson's a good example. This guy's pretty thick, but it's 600 yards already in 4 games. Like, that's nuts.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's. So all of the preseason books that we read, the manuals that we got, and all the different people talking about
magazines and stuff.
Preview magazines, yes, thank you. No one could really come up with Missouri lost a lot, but they might be okay on. There's some good pieces, but it was definitely up in the air, and especially with the QB, they weren't sure about Pribula. I think he looks really good. He's managing the offense. When they need to pass, he can pass. When they need to run, they can run. So, and he went for 72 yards. So, like, you almost like after the last few games, seeing how good Pribula was passing, it's almost like you forget, this guy can really run too. And in this game, he needed to run. And this offense can do whatever it wants. And I think it's because the line is so good.
Yeah, no, I think those are all really good points. And because they're, we talked about Hardy and how dominant he was. There's 22 carries for 138 yards. He averaged 6.3 a carry. But Roberts, the backup, also averaged 5.8 a carry. And Pribula averaged 8 yards a carry on 9 carries. We had 9 carries for 72 yards. Like that's really the stat of the game, is that they ran for 287 yards, right? So totally. You can't stop that. You're not going to have many turnovers. You dominate the time of possession. They really puts himself in a position to be successful. And that's why in the fourth quarter, South Carolina had no points and Missouri had 11. So,
yeah. And I'll add to that if you can run for 280, to almost 290 yards and hold the other team to negative running yards, I'm pretty sure you're going to win every single game like that, no matter who's the Heisman candidate QB on the other. It doesn't matter. It's you just made them look pedestrian. It was just overwhelming. The defensive line here is just overwhelming. Now, this is a little bit of an indictment on the South Carolina offensive line. We've talked about that offensive line being suspect, and it got utterly exposed here by much better defensive line. And the other credit to Missouri, and again, good teams can win different ways. They did not need Kevin Coleman Jr. to go off.
That's right.
He was pretty much quiet in this game, and they still, Jesus, that's a Tiger fans. You've got a hell of an offense here that can do it different ways.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, because he is their best wide receiver probably, and then he had 3 catches for 20 yards. But you'll take good defense and running the ball every day of the week if your goal is to win football games. So that was a great plan. There's no need to force it to him. You don't want to force it up there and cause any turnovers if you don't need to. So it was a great plan. And this is a good example of, again, you don't want to be one-dimensional, and they were running so well, but you still pass just to keep them honest, to keep the running game open. You know what I mean? So they were still effective enough passing, even though he only threw for 171 yards. That's effective enough passing that allows the running game to continue to be successful.
Oh, yeah. This 458 yards of offense, you'll take that obviously every time. 29 first downs to 15.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I mean,
that's a big difference.
Third down efficiency, 7 for 13. I mean, anywhere you look on the box score here, I'm just glancing over at the box score. Missouri had him. 35 and a half minutes time of possession to 24 and a half. I mean, it was just wherever you look, this was a complete thorough domination in this game, even though the score looked a little closer. And that was only because Sellers kept hitting some long passes. But otherwise, to your point, the box score kind of really does tell the tale. 5 penalties for 54 yards. So pretty clean game on Missouri's side too. And like you said, South Carolina, 14 penalties for 100 yards. This was, if the speculation was, okay, we think Missouri's good, but we'll find out when SEC play starts. This is a pretty damn good game to start SEC play and put South Carolina away. I think it was kind of obvious South Carolina wasn't going to compete about halfway through this game. I think, oh my God, I don't think they've got what it's going to take here to try to compete with Missouri.
No, and the other thing I'll say too is that I've never thought of Missouri as like a really intimidating place to play. I don't know if it's just because I'm biased and they were sort of newer to the SEC when I was an SEC fan, but it looked like a pretty ruckus place to play. They've got UMass next week, and then they host Alabama, which is all of a sudden shaping up to be a colossal game, and that's going to be a pretty good environment. I thought it was a great environment for this game, and so I think that's going to be a pretty good environment for Bama.
Which we're going to that game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Saturday versus Sunday. We're going to go to the Missouri game on the Saturday, and then the Kansas City Chiefs game on the Sunday.
Yeah. So we'll be in town, Tiger fans. Let's if anyone watching here happens to be at that game and you happen to see this, like we'll be there. So we're looking forward to seeing that environment live and in person. So, I mean, I guess that's all I got for this one. You got anything else?
No, I think it's you touched on it before. It was the going into the season because of the transfer portal. There's a lot of unknowns. You know, when you lose a team and new people coming in, you're not really sure how it's going to hit. And there's some good examples of transfer stuff not working out for people, you know, and people pointed to like FSU last year, and there's been a few other examples, but like this is one where, you know, the transfers really hit because Bo Pribula is amazing, Hardy's amazing, and it was a really telling point by what was the coach's name? It was
Drinkwitz.
Yeah, Drinkwitz, where he said that when we go to the transfer portal, we're not getting potential, we want production. And because both those, Hardy was good last year, right? And so that was their thought process. So that's really made this team, Missouri, way more scarier this year because they hit on the transfers, and that was a big deal.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's almost like the NFL. Do your draft picks hit or not? Yep. And if you hit on some transfers, it can translate to immediate success, which it looks like Missouri has hit.
And free agents too, right? When you hit on the free agents, all of a sudden, like that,
same thing. Well, yeah, I guess we could even say it's more like known production.
It's both. It's like draft picks
Missouri's got it. All right, so that's a good place to leave it. Also, if you're still with us, we appreciate you checking out our channel. We know it's small, so we just started last year. So if you like what we got going on, we'd appreciate it if you could give us a like and a subscribe. That means a lot to us for growing the channel, and or share this with somebody who you think might like it. And I guess, I don't know, we'll just leave it at that for now. So for Jeff Dover, I'm John Barbin, and that's your Saturday versus Sunday podcast.